What is up, everybody? Welcome to Backlog and Beyond, the podcast where we talk about the old video games we want to beat and the new ones we play instead. I'm your host, Nathan Hawkins.
And I'm your other host, Jeff Savatero, and welcome to episode 19.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome. We're one episode away from hitting the big 2-0.
Although technically this is the 20th thing we're uploading because we did the introduction.
That is very true. This is close. It may as well be the 20th thing we've posted, but it's not officially episode 20. So we got a great show for you today. We're going to be talking about pretty much all the October releases are going to be coming out, the big games that are coming out next month. We're going to be talking about PS5 versus Xbox and how they compare and what actually is going to matter to us. And we're also going to talk about, obviously, our Given an Hour games. But first, what have you been playing, Jeff?
I dabbled in several games this week. Untitled Goose Game unlocked local multiplayer, so Emily and I started that one.
How is that?
It's fun. I mean, it's the exact same game, but
okay.
You just have someone to play with, and so it's actually a lot easier now because
I was gonna say
a lot of the missions are distraction based. So
yeah,
so it's really easy to do from there.
I was gonna say it might actually would be easier at that point. You could distract, like the very first level is that farmer guy. You could have one person go in, take his boot, while the other one's like distracting him by taking the rake.
The only issue is like you can only get so far apart before it stops you. So like, yeah, Emily
that does suck.
Has to be in sight of me and therefore in sight of the farmer.
Gotcha. So there is some kind of strategy involved, I guess.
Yeah. So you just gotta work it better.
Okay.
I also played some Ghost Giant on the Oculus Quest. It's a game where you play a giant being and only one kid can see you. And he's kind of suffering from like anxiety and depression, and it's like you just kind of help him out on the way. It's a really cute game.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, we played some Spellbreak, and we got horribly mangled pretty much every time. Me and Andrew played doubles, and we did pretty good. But
oh, nice.
Yeah, because we had the issues on the PlayStation 4. The server was down, so me and Andrew played on Switch, and we dominated.
Nice.
But when we moved back to PS4, we got dominated.
I don't know what that is. That's funny.
And then also I played some Rocket League today because it is now free to play.
That's right. That's pretty cool.
So
I mean,
I tried it out on the Switch. I was pretty awful, my poor teammates. But
dude, I mean, some of these people playing that game now are insane. Like they're doing the craziest tricks with those cars. I don't even understand how they're pulling those things off, but it's impressive.
I know. I'm just like, luckily there's going to be a lot of new players, so it's not super competitive because there's going to be a lot of newbies. So I don't have to feel as bad.
That's good. I'm
pretty bad. What have you been playing?
Well, I'm actually back to streaming. I officially returned to Twitch this past weekend. And I will say this, if it wasn't for my community, it probably would have been the worst streams I've ever had in my entire life. Like, the first stream, I spent 2.5 hours trying to figure out an audio issue. Turned out that my camera, my webcam, was the input for the audio. Everyone's like, you sound super quiet. I was like, I don't understand. I had to change the default from the camera to the Blue Yeti. But everything else was fine. And I was like, why is everything so loud and I'm not? I was thinking everything else was like doing some weird stuff, but I was like, that doesn't make any sense. Luckily, somebody came on and helped me. Then the second stream, no internet. Like, it was crashing out. So I finally gave up, and I have run a 50-foot cable from this office to where the router is, and I have the smoothest internet I've ever had in this room. It's glorious.
How much did that cable cost you?
Cable was nothing. It was free. It was actually, I got it from Shannon's cousin.
A 50-foot Ethernet cable?
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. He gets them super cheap because he works for Dolby. So he has like a bunch. He has a 100-foot cable that he uses for work. But otherwise, it would have cost me about $50.
Nice.
So I was like, sweet. But other than that, like, streams were fun. Other than that, but yeah, I'm gonna be playing. I'm gonna be starting like a Halloween kind of thing this next weekend. And I'm not gonna say which game I'm playing, but if you're curious, I'll tell you after the show. But I will be playing a game that'll keep me on edge the entire time. But this week I didn't play any games at all. Like, nothing. I didn't have time. I was so busy getting the stream ready and everything for the return. But I have been playing this thing called Sherlock Consulting Detective. I was almost gonna buy To Hunt a Killer, and I read some reviews on Reddit, and they were like, "It's okay, but it's not great." and then they mentioned Sherlock Consulting Detective. It is fantastic. It's like $40 for this box of like 10 different mysteries you have to solve, and they're pretty intricate. The first book took us like 5 hours to like figure out and solve the mystery. And they never actually tell you when you're done. You kind of just have to make a decision. It's like, okay, I'm pretty sure we know who did it, why they did it, and then you have to kind of answer questions at the end. And then Sherlock will tell you how many leads he had to follow versus how many leads you had to follow. And the whole point of the game is to beat Sherlock. It's really fun. So I would highly recommend it for you and Emily, actually. It's a lot of reading, but it's really fun because it's literally you're given the murder scene, and then you have to, based on that information, you have to say, okay, well, let's go to the crime scene. And then you have to go through the booklet to see if the crime scene is actually a lead that you can read. So really cool.
So it's not a video game?
No. This is like all paper and pens and taking notes and...
Oh, man.
Yeah, so that's what I've been playing.
Cool. Awesome. Great.
Yeah, so moving on to the news, I think the biggest news this week was Microsoft buying ZeniMax for $7.5 billion. That being one of the studios, Bethesda, probably the biggest studio that's in ZeniMax. So now Microsoft owns the big games like Wolfenstein, Doom, Quake, Fallout, Elder Scrolls. It's insane. And here's some fun facts that I found out too. Microsoft paid 3 times for ZeniMax than what they paid for Minecraft, Mojang or whatever. Bethesda and Obsidian are now sister companies. So Fallout New Vegas 2 is actually a possibility. And Microsoft is now releasing 2 timed PS5 exclusives because of this merge. So it's just crazy. I don't know. What do you think about all this news?
I mean, it doesn't really change. I tried to start Skyrim about 100 times, didn't get very far. I tried to play Fallout 3. I beat Fallout 3, just barely.
Right.
I couldn't beat Fallout 4.
Okay.
So it's not a major loss for me. Like,
that's right.
That is not going to be a reason for me to pick up an Xbox.
Gotcha.
But yeah, Microsoft has the money to throw around like that, while Sony doesn't. So
that's some big boy money they threw around too.
Yeah.
Like, it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Like, it's insane. I mean, I don't know. I think it's funny because we talked about this earlier in the week, and I had some more time to think about it. And of course, it's a really smart move. But I was looking at the Phil Spencer interview, and he was saying like future games like Starfield will be available for Xbox, PC, and Microsoft's Game Pass. We'll take other consoles on a case-by-case review. And then what else? Yeah, so like I don't know. It's Phil Spencer and Xbox. They've had this whole thing. They had this notion saying games are bigger than one console. So if they really are about that mantra, they probably won't take away these franchises from the PlayStation community. However, if they do, it'd be very smart, obviously, to get the audience over there as well. But the other thing they could do, here's what I thought. They could actually offer it free on Game Pass. Like, they could offer like Elder Scrolls, Fallout free on Game Pass and charge PlayStation members $70. So you have they basically are putting the PlayStation community in this like basically holding them by the wall and saying, well, you could spend $70 on it, or you could just come to Xbox and you get them all for free by just paying $10 a month.
Yeah.
So who knows what they're gonna do?
PC Game Pass.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So I mean, who knows what they're gonna do? But either way, it's huge, and I think Microsoft is definitely now a force to be reckoned with when it comes to quote console war. So
yeah, I mean, so crazy. Now they have that in Xbox or Halo. So
right, and they have Doom, and they have they have all these big games like now Doom and Master Chief are on the same side. Like, that's crazy. Doom guy and Master Chief. Who would have thought? So, but I don't know. Like, for me, if Fallout and Elder Scrolls did become exclusive, I would hands down upgrade my PC. If not, buying an Xbox. It just depends on the situation, the scenario. But no question, I would be making sure I could play those games because I'm a huge fan of those franchises. So
those aren't good. Like I would buy an Xbox over the game 12 minutes before I'd buy it over an Elder Scrolls game. And Fable, nice. Like Fables is the Fable.
Yeah, Fable. Yeah.
Fables is the comic.
There you go.
Those two are the only two getting me to want to buy an Xbox, just so I could just play it without having to worry about my computer.
Although I don't know, does Xbox game share? I don't think they do. I don't think you can game share like you can on the PlayStation.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, Switch can do it too. If Switch can do it, I don't see why it would be an issue for
Yeah,
the
that's
Xbox.
true. I guess you could it's a matter of just making the console the primary, doing the same thing we're doing.
No, I'm pretty sure you can because I gave my account information to my cousin because I never played.
Oh, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. My news for the week, Metal Gear Solid, Metal Gear Solid 2, along with the Konami Collector Series of Castlevania and Contra are coming to PC on GOG.
I did see that. I just didn't read up on it.
Is the DRM-free provider of video games. So
nice.
If you didn't want it attached to Steam, that's what you would get it on. But they also have their own GOG Galaxy launcher, which you can connect Steam and Origin and Uplay. So you have all of your games in one place.
Oh, that's exciting. That's really cool for people who've never played the series, because those are great. Like those Metal Gear games are awesome.
Yeah, they had the rumor going around that PlayStation was going to remake the first Metal Gear Solid, but that turned out to be likely a hoax. So that's
there's so many of those going on, like all these rumors and stuff going around.
Yeah, because people think PlayStation's going to retaliate for ZeniMax, but they don't need to because they already have enough good developers.
I think the only thing they could do is if they really wanted to like put up some serious numbers is to buy Square Enix. That'd be huge. Then they'd have Final Fantasy.
And they could easily be outbid by Microsoft. Microsoft would be like, how about $1 billion more?
They're like, we'll give you 10 trillion.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that would be a contest.
I don't know. Yeah. But anyway, that's something that Sony could potentially do if they really wanted to like try to like make this a monopoly. But I don't know. I think that would get a little silly.
Yeah, I don't like anything Sony could buy. Microsoft be like, fine, I'll buy it. As soon as a company's like, we do have a price, Microsoft would be like, all right, I have that in my wallet.
Although it is exciting though to think that Fallout New Vegas 2 is actually a thing. Like,
I think people are very, very early in their speculation on that. Like,
well, Obsidian tweeted back. Some guy said, "So is this?" He literally tweeted saying, "So Fallout New Vegas 2 is a legit possibility now, right?" And Obsidian sent they sent back that image with the guy going like this, like I don't know, maybe like they sent that back. So it's like, who knows?
I played it for about 10 minutes, and I'm like,
it's all It's all speculation. Anyway, all right, cool. Well, moving on to October's releases. So these are the big games coming up next month. There's a ton coming out next month, but I kind of just narrowed it down to the big guns. We got Super Mario Brothers 35 coming out on Switch Online, coming October 1st. Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time, PS4, Xbox, October 2nd. Star Wars Squadrons, that's going to be a big one, also October 2nd. We have FIFA, for all you soccer fans out there, October 9th. Mario Kart Live Home Circuit, which looks amazing. That's coming out on October 16th. Then we have World of Warcraft Shadowlands expansion on the PC, October 27th. Watch Dogs Legion is going to be coming out October 29th. The Dark Pictures Anthology, Little Hope, PSC, PS4, Xbox, October 30th. And Fall Guys Season 2, PC, PS4. It's coming next month at some point. Is there anything on this list that you saw that you're excited for or you might be picking up?
I'm going to pick up Game Dev Tycoon for the Switch on October 8th for sure. And then
what is that? Oh, is that where like you actually like you're a game developer?
You make a video game company, yeah.
That's cool.
It's pretty cool.
That sounds like your idea for was it the Stardew Valley prequel or sequel?
Kinda, yeah. Most Tycoon games are. They also have that Cobra Kai game that I wanted to that is going to be awful, but it's coming out on October 27th. That's awesome. I probably won't buy that one, but that is definitely interesting.
That's awesome.
I'm hoping the Dark Pictures Anthology will have the multiplayer like the last one did.
I'm sure they will. That was actually really well done, I thought.
That was surprisingly fun, so I hope we get to play that.
Yeah, that was really crazy. I'm not going to spoil anything, but it was insane how if we would have spoken to each other more about what we were seeing, we probably could have figured it out a lot sooner, but we just kind of let it happen.
Where's the fun of that?
No, totally, and I thought it was great. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's obviously a lot of things on this list I'm like really excited for. Not a lot, but I guess there's enough. Like definitely Watch Dogs Legion, which I will not be picking up. I'll probably wait till PS5 for that. Dark Pictures, obviously, Anthology.
I'll split that with you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, Mario Kart Live, I would love that so much, but I don't see a point. Like, first of all, there's not enough room in the house to do that. Second of all, when am I gonna have time to do that on top of gaming? Like, there's no point.
When are you gonna pick up Super Mario 3D All Stars?
I don't know. I was thinking about it. Like, I'm still on the fence about picking that up or not. Like, I don't know.
You're gonna pick up 5 of the little thing, but you're not gonna pick up 1 of that one. You're gonna pick up those stupid little thumb-sized handheld ones, but not that.
I'm not picking those up.
You told me you were. You said those were going to be collector's items.
I'm not picking them up. I'm saying if I were to pick them up.
Switch. You were like, I'm going to buy that.
No.
You said I want you to go back into that episode and edit it into a clip when you said you were going to get that.
All right, I will. I'll go find it and I'll prove you wrong.
He just re-records a new one. I would never buy that, but if I was rich.
That's the whole episode. It's just that. It's just that one audio bite. It's just the intro song and the outro song.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick that one up physically. So if you want to play Super Mario 3D All Stars, you're gonna have to buy it on your own.
All right, sounds good. No, I think that's what I was gonna do too. If I was gonna buy it, it was gonna have to be physical.
At that time as well.
Yeah. I did say I would probably buy physical just to make sure that I would own it permanently and not have to have Nintendo remove it someday and be like, screw you.
Yeah.
So
I mean, and you'll probably be able to sell it for much more later.
Exactly. Cool. So yeah, those are big games coming out next month. Exciting times. So the main topic we're talking about today, PS5 versus Xbox Series X. I'm just gonna kind of run through some of the select things that I'm noticing about these consoles individually. We're not gonna go into super detail like teraflops and everything.
Just more or less like and the SMT enabled.
Yeah, I just kind of copied and pasted this chart that I found because I thought it was interesting. It was actually well put together, so I was like, why not? But yeah, like, so overall, like, you look at these side by side on this chart, and it looks like they're pretty darn close in terms of power, like,
except for the Xbox Series S.
Right. Exactly. The S is where it immensely makes a huge difference in all of the between all four.
Yeah. Like,
we're talking, what, 10, 12 teraflops, and then drops down to 4 teraflops. And then it's 16 gigs of RAM, and then 10 gigs of RAM.
Yeah.
So yeah, but in general, like, they're pretty close to each other in power. I think one of the bigger things I noticed was what was it? It was, where was it? I think it was the speed of the SSD. That's what I noticed. That the PS4 is going 8 to 9 gigabytes per second compressed, whereas the Xbox is going 4.8 gigabytes compressed. I'm not a big tech guy, so I'm not exactly sure, like, what that difference is going to make. Like, literally a 4 to 5 gigabyte difference in the compression. I have no idea. What's that?
So it's like, I as far as I know, it's going to be able to, like, render those assets a lot quicker. So, like, moving from world to world. I don't know. I'm making that up, but that's what it seems like to me.
You're probably right. I
like I'm how in Ratchet and Clank you can go from like universe to universe.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. But yeah, it's unfortunate though that the storage is less. Like, it's like currently you and I are rocking 2 terabytes on our PS4s because we manually switched it out.
Yeah.
And it seems like we're gonna have to crack open the PS5 to do the same thing because,
well, I mean, you'd also have to get a solid state drive, which is going to be like exponentially more money. So I think what a lot of people are going to do is get an external hard drive and then just move the games that they're playing at that moment. But they're also doing a better job of compressing the game. Like, the file size for Miles Morales for the PS4 is going to be 52 gigabytes at 1080. For the PS5, it's going to be 50 gigabytes, but at 4K.
Oh, interesting. Wow.
So not only is it like a much more complex graphic file, it's still a smaller size. So I think they're just going to be better at compressing it. And all the numbers we see here, you got to subtract 100 gigabytes for the OS.
Right.
So you're getting even less.
They're not counting the OS in this because I feel like
they never
would have.
Like for the 1 terabyte, they're like 1 terabyte minus what we need. Same with phones. They do the same thing.
Yeah, that's true. They don't really mention that stuff till the very end. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like this might actually help with the backlog in that case. You can only put so many games on your console at once. So it's like you're kind of forced to either make the decision to just beat those games and then delete them, or constantly just cycling through games you just never beat and you just never know what you have. It's like...
I have so many games downloaded on the off chance that I want to play it in that moment, but like most of the time I'll like boot up a game and I'll be like, I'm actually not feeling this, and then I shut it down.
Right. You'll sit there for like 15 minutes like, which game do I want to play?
So if anything, it's like a half an hour later. It's going to help with the backlog.
Right. So exactly.
Like, do I want to download this game?
That's what I'm saying. It's going to make you have to make a serious decision as to what space you want to take up on this thing, because there's not much. And that's kind of what I think, where I think Xbox might win in this with their cloud gaming, Cloud X gaming. You're going to have all those games at your fingertips all the time. If you have a solid internet connection, that 512 gigabytes on the Series S, it's not going to make a difference if you're playing all of your games on xCloud. Yeah. It's not. So that's where, like PS Now and xCloud and those games are going to come into that's where that gaming is going to come into play for this smaller, storage option. But I do like the fact that Xbox has the expansion card. Like, it's just a slot. Yeah. It's so much easier just to, pop and play or whatever. It's like...
It always was with them, too. Like, the Xbox 360, you just got to open up the faceplate, pull it out, and put a new one in.
Right.
But I think that also means you have to buy theirs specifically.
Yes, you do.
For the PlayStation one, you have to buy one that works with the system, but you can, there are lots of off-brands that you can choose from.
Right. So at least you have an option with PlayStation, but the ease and accessibility that Xbox is giving you is pretty nice. The fact that you can just switch it out. So that's kind of cool. For backwards compatibility, we're looking at 99% of PS4 games, and they've been tested, and I guess they work on the PS5. And then, of course, for Xbox, it's going to be thousands of games, like Xbox One, Xbox 360, original, all the Xbox One accessories. So they're really pushing hard on making this console accessible to people who basically don't have a large wallet to go back and buy, to go and buy a whole bunch of new games or accessories. They can just use all their old stuff and continue gaming. So I don't know. I don't know exactly how I feel about this. For me, it's all about the games, regardless of, what they're offering in terms of accessories and everything. But yeah, I don't know. I think both are great. I think the fact that PS5 has some backwards compatibility is good, because if they were to shut that off entirely, I think that would be a console killer for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's a shame that they can't go back any further than that after all this time, and how Xbox had them beat. Because I get 105 megabits a second, and when I play PlayStation 3 games on PlayStation Now, it's almost unplayable.
Oh, really?
So I don't know how great the Xbox One is going to be in comparison, but
that's true.
Not the same as having it right on the console.
No, it's totally not. I mean, when you download it, it's there and it's running. There's no hiccups at all.
Yeah,
I totally agree. I'm all about, having it, obviously hardwired. I mean, the difference of my internet. I was getting 30 to 40. Now I'm getting 80 down. I'm getting 80 steady down. I'm getting 20 steady up. Yeah. And
I'm getting 100, and it's
yeah. So hardwire's the way to go. Physical is the way to go. If it's either a physical download or it's a physical disc, that's the way to play. Personally, you don't have to worry about any of those other issues. And then over here we got So again, we've mentioned this already, but we have the PS5 coming in at $499, the PS5 digital at $399, the Xbox Series X at $499, and the Series S at $299. I don't know. I think those prices would make sense. I mean, especially if you look at the specs for the Series S, totally makes sense. I can exactly see why they were able to go down that low. But again, if you're a casual gamer and you're not you know what I mean, power is not your thing, and it's all about the games. That's actually a really good option for you. Especially at that price, that's huge.
Yeah. The what's it called when you can buy the Xbox at the same time?
Oh, smart delivery?
No.
Oh, no.
The payment plan.
Yeah, I forget what they're calling it.
Anyway, that to me makes me want to pick up the Series S.
Seriously.
I'm not getting an Xbox for how it looks. I just want to try these games. So I don't mind paying when the time comes. Right. And when 12 Minutes or Fable comes out, that is what I'm going to go for. Yeah,
I think I'm going to wait to see what happens with this whole Bethesda thing. If they do go exclusive, that's when I'll probably buy.
That is
an
already
Xbox.
the rumor. They're only honoring the contract that they already made.
Right.
I think after that, it's going to be a no-brainer.
Which and that's probably when I'll do it. That's when I'll bite the bullet. So I think at that point, once I bite the bullet, they'll actually have a good list of games for me to jump in with, which could be nice.
Just having the Game Pass alone is going to be all you need.
Right? I know it's true.
I want to play Sea of Thieves super bad,
right?
But my computer can't handle it that well. And plus, I don't have anyone to play with, so it sucks.
Oh my god! But yeah, so anyway, so that's all like the internals of the consoles. Console features: PS5's offering their Tempest 3D audio tech, what they're calling it, in supported games in quotations. They have 3 USB-A ports, one on the front, 2 on the back, and then 1 USB-C port on the front. They're also using Wi-Fi 5. And they're giving the option again to create screenshots, videos, and share all that stuff on social media. Xbox, on the other hand, they're offering quick resume up to 2 games, which I think is awesome. They're also giving the option as well to share screenshots, videos, on social media. Their 3D audios, they're calling it 3D spatial sound, and then they also have 3 USB-A ports. So I don't know, like, how do you feel about this stuff? Like, what's your thought on like quick resume? Like,
that's when you could turn on the console and jump right back into the game.
Yeah, like there's 2 games there to play. You don't have to wait for loading times at all or starting.
I assume it's going to be the business as usual for the PlayStation, because that is the most useful feature that they have for me. Like being able to stop a game and not have to worry about it. The only issue is if it's an online game, then you still have to reset it. But being able to pick up a story game or like Grand Theft Auto without having to sit through the 5 minutes of like 10%. 20%, like that is a lifesaver if you don't have a lot of time to game.
Right.
I was gonna get the 3D Pulse headset for the PlayStation, but I heard that the 3D is built into the system, so if you have a stereo set of headphones, you're not gonna need to buy the new one. So I think my PlayStation Gold headset is gonna be fine.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's basically all that the headset is doing, which I was gonna get into a little bit later. Oh, I forgot. Also, they have the Xbox also has the SSD expansion slot and all that stuff. But yeah, so in terms of the headphones, I was going to get into that a little bit, but it seems that their headset specifically is taking full, what's the word I'm looking for? Like they're basically just taking their Tempest 3D audio tech and they're using it to its like fullest capabilities, basically with that headset.
Got it.
As they say, whether it's true or not, who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the quick resume is great. The fact that Xbox has it up to 2 games, I don't know if PS5 is going to try to like do the same thing. I mean, I don't see a reason to have 2 games up at the same time. Like 1 is all I need.
Like maybe if like I'm playing a game and then you're like, hey, let's play Spellbreak today. I'll be like, okay. And then I could jump over to Spellbreak without losing my ability to jump into the other game.
Right.
So I don't need to jump back into Spellbreak, but I don't want to lose my other game.
Right, so that would actually be nice. Is if you have if you're playing with friends and you're playing a story game, you don't have to lose your place in the story, or
you don't have to worry about if you had a save point.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, like wait, let me get to a save point. Yeah, right. I'll be on with you guys shortly. So that is kind of nice. But yeah, so I mean, obviously both are offering 3D audio. They're both offering the USB-A ports. I'm sure Xbox is going to have Wi-Fi 5 as well. Although I think Wi-Fi 6 is a thing right now. Wi-Fi 6
I'm not going to rely on Wi-Fi anyway.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I'm not either, so there's that. Here's the thing. Their software, Xbox's software, I think that they're adding it to their new phone app for sharing screenshots and videos. You can basically, it links directly to your Xbox console, and you can edit and share your videos and photos right from your phone.
I want that for PlayStation. Like,
I know, and PlayStation has not said anything about that, and that's what I'm
probably not going to do it. They would have announced it.
I know it sucks because like that would be so great. Like I hate the fact that I have to do all of my sharing and all of my editing on the PlayStation. It's like janky to have to do it on that.
Well, what you could do is you can export it to a USB drive and then plug that into your computer.
Yeah, but I mean,
it's just it's like an extra step that I think is stupid. Like when I wanted to share a screenshot, I shared it privately on my Facebook page, which you cannot do anymore. And then I downloaded that to my phone, and then I send it to whoever I wanted to send it to.
Oh, I think I did that, though, recently. I saved it to my PlayStation. I saved it to my Facebook privately, I thought, just recently.
They completely removed Facebook as a partner on PlayStation.
Oh, then maybe it was Switch that I was doing. I think I was doing it with the Switch. The Switch gives you the option to do it.
Yeah, you could do it on Twitter now, so I guess.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's what I was doing. I was doing it on Twitter, and then I was deleting the tweet immediately. That's what I was doing.
Yeah, it used to be you could do it on PlayStation, but
it's such a
just
stupid
one day
workaround.
I logged in and they're like, "Hey, you can no longer use your picture. You can't find friends with Facebook, and you cannot share to Facebook." Like all of a sudden,
that.
Yeah, it was so stupid.
Yeah, like I want an app that I can take a screenshot right on my PlayStation. It shows up on my phone. I can download that photo from my phone, put it into like an app like Instagram or one of these other filter photos, and then like put my own filters on it right from my phone.
Yep,
like I think that'd be sweet.
Just have a cloud-based service, and as soon as you take it, it uploads to your Sony cloud, and then the Sony cloud is accessible from your phone.
Right. So essentially, Xbox is doing this. If you actually watch I don't know if you've seen the video, but it looked so smooth the way they showed it. It was great.
Yeah.
They just showed this guy like have his video. He actually edited the video on his phone, and then he posted it. I was like, see, that's what I want on PlayStation.
I wonder if it's because Microsoft has the foundation with their OneDrive, which works much
probably
like Google Drive. So they're like, it's like a private OneDrive account that you could share with your Xbox account only.
Yeah,
so it makes a lot of sense, but it's still disappointing as a PlayStation customer.
I agree. I know it's really sad. So if you're listening, Sony, hurry up, get on it.
Now that they heard us say it, they're gonna get right on it.
Exactly. All right, cool. Moving on to the controllers. So PS5 is offering haptic feedback, dynamic triggers, a built-in microphone, and a create button. Xbox is offering a dedicated share button now, a hybrid D-pad, which is seen on the Elite Controller Series 2, new texture on the shoulder buttons, and dynamic latency input. So what are you looking forward to in like the PS5, like the controller specifically?
I'm not going to use the built-in microphone because I heard it's like a last-ditch effort.
It's horrible.
Is the create button different from the share button, or is that replacing the share button?
It's replacing the share button. I think
so. It's pretty much a share button.
It's a share button. They're just changing the name and the branding.
I was excited about the idea of haptic feedback, but it just means it's going to vibrate in different ways. So we'll see how it plays, but.
They did like a tech demo on the controller. I was like, that's not doing anything for us. Like me watching you play with the controller is not going to help me understand the haptic feedback and the dynamic trigger. Like I'm not going to understand it till I actually have it in my hands and I play with it.
Yeah.
But it is pretty cool though, like the idea of pulling back on a bow and feeling the tension on one of the triggers. Like I think I think cool.
The dynamic triggers is the coolest part of everything you named.
Right.
I like the look of the controller, and it seems to have a more rounded shape, like the Xbox One controller. That is something that they always do really well. After the original Xbox, the original Xbox One was trash. But so was the original PlayStation One. Like once you added analog sticks, it was like, oh, that one sucks.
It was really bad.
They released the analog controller for the PlayStation One, and I never got it until I got a PlayStation 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and we couldn't afford it. Oh. I mean, because it was like $50, but
yeah,
I'd rather get new games than that.
Yeah, who needs that? The Xbox controller looks awesome too. I mean, I was looking at pictures of it. It looks really sleek. I like the fact they're kind of incorporating some of the Elite controller features in that controller. And I mean, honestly, I do like the Xbox controller. I think it's a great controller. Like, because I still have my Xbox 360 over here in a box, and but when I do play with it, it actually is a good feeling controller. So I don't know. I think the controllers, like, they equally have their own, great features. But I think what's cool about PS5 is they're adding these different sensational, aspects. Not new technology, but they're taking that older technology and bringing it to these controllers. Although I feel like that people were saying that Xbox actually used to have haptic feedback on their controllers, or it wasn't that. It was dynamic triggers or something. I forget what it was, but there was something that Xbox had already had prior to PS5's controller, but I'm not exactly sure. But either way, I'd say the controllers are pretty well balanced between the two. Yeah. I think it just comes down to preference, really, because it seems like they're going to have the same features minus the haptic feedback dynamic trigger thing.
Yeah,
I don't know. But and then accessories, PS5 is going to have the Pulse 3D wireless headset, which you mentioned you're going to get. They're going to have the dual.
Everywhere.
It's sold out.
It's the only accessory you can't get right now.
Oh my god! I mean, I guess that makes sense. I mean, everyone wants the new headset,
but more than they need a second controller or the camera. But so yeah, the things that are sold out are the console itself and the wireless headset.
All right.
Yeah,
wow.
I was dead set on getting it, but now I'm like, oh, I guess stick with my gold headset for a bit, and if it does what I need it to, then that's what it does.
Yeah. All right. They also have the DualSense charging station for 2 controllers, the media remote for the for Netflix and Hulu and all that stuff, as well as obviously your Blu-ray player, and then they have the HD camera. Xbox, nothing.
I'm sure they're gonna have some kind of charging station at least.
They need to.
I mean, they may not have announced it, but that right. And the media remote, I'm sure will come out. Right. But they completely abandoned the Kinect, so I don't expect to see a camera.
Yeah, I mean, let me put it this way: everything we've talked about is what we know so far.
Yeah.
So Xbox, as of now, has not announced any accessories that's going to come along with the Xbox. Whereas PS5 kind of had like this, like this whole setup idea. They're like, all right, we're gonna just have everything come out at once, which I think is cool. It kind of looks like it's complete. But yeah, I think you're right. I think Xbox is definitely going to come out shortly with, charging stations, maybe a camera. I mean, I imagine they will at some point, because the thing is, streaming is now such a big thing, and people being able to stream directly from their consoles, everyone's going to want to do that. Yeah. Like all these kids playing Fortnite, they're going to want to stream from their consoles, and Xbox will have to come out with something at some point.
I wonder if it's because it's Microsoft that they'll be able to use regular webcams for that kind of stuff.
Oh, maybe that's the beauty of going with an Xbox. You can actually choose the webcam you go with.
I never did on the Xbox One. I like in the PlayStation One that they can edit out your background.
Yeah.
And then focus on your face.
Right.
So I think that's super cool, but I have a green screen, so it'd be super easy.
Yeah, honestly, the green screen is the way to go with that feature, because if you don't, it looks super janky. Not gonna lie. I've seen it, and it looks like butt.
Yeah, I mean...
So...
yeah, Zoom does it pretty well, surprisingly.
Zoom is like really good with it, but the PS4 camera, not so much. But there's the option. One? Oh, sorry, the PS5, yeah. I've not seen the PS5's ability to do it. Okay. I was talking about the PS4's ability.
I'm sure it's a better camera. I'm selling my camera in my PSVR, so.
Oh, that's right. You mentioned that.
Upgrading to the new one.
Yeet. That's exciting.
Yeah.
Cool. And then we have, last but not least, we have the exclusive launch titles that are going to be launching with each of these consoles side by side. For PS5, it's going to be Astro's Playroom, which is coming preloaded on the PS5. Demon's Souls, or is it Demon Souls? I think it's Demon Souls. Destruction All-Stars, Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition, which will be available digitally at launch. Godfall, Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales, and Sackboy: A Big Adventure. For Xbox, we have Bright Memory, Tetris Effect Connected, which is a DLC for Tetris Effect, and The Falconeer. So clearly,
I think of the PlayStation 5 ones, Devil May Cry has been available before. Godfall, Miles Morales, and Sackboy are all going to be available on the PlayStation 4. Right. So really, you only have like 2 or 3 exclusive to the new console launch titles.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, I guess I'm talking about like in the ecosystem.
Yeah. Yes.
But yeah, it's crazy that they kind of went back on that, because now it's like, well, so I'm just getting a PS5 so I can play my Backlog on.
I know, right? Like, I felt like there was at least 10 games for the last generation.
Mm-hmm.
Like I even remember being excited for Sunset Overdrive on on the Xbox One. That's the company that ended up making Spider-Man. So
that's right.
Yep.
That's crazy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. So I mean, but if you're just looking at the titles as is, PlayStation 5 is clearly going for the exclusives. Xbox is clearly trying to sell their Game Pass.
Yeah.
Which they've made that very clear. Yeah, I don't know. I was looking at the load times for Red Dead compared to PS4 to PS5. It's like a full 2 minutes shorter. It's like, I think it's like 30 to 40 seconds load time for Red Dead versus like a 2.5 minute load time. It's insane. Awesome. It's insane.
Hopefully it runs better. I'm sick of getting kicked out of online.
Well, I feel like that's an internet thing, not necessarily. Well, not an internet thing. Because you have really good internet.
I have way better internet than you, and yours is
I think
fine.
I think that's a Rockstar server thing. I don't think that's a hardware thing. I think that's Rockstar.
But it's weird that it only happens to some consoles. And I was telling your friend Matt, I went to his house. He reset his console from the scratch.
Yeah.
And he couldn't even get to the part where you're supposed to find John Marsden in the Red Dead Redemption without it shutting down.
Wow.
It was so weird.
That's messed up. I'd have asked for a refund or something.
I know. I got it for him for his birthday.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think though that has something to do with the server locations. I feel like you're just on a crappy server. It's all I can think of. Because I don't have that issue all the time. It's maybe like every 2 hours I'll drop out. Yeah. Some days will be bad, worse. Some days will be better. But I don't know. But anyway, The load times are probably what the most I'm excited for.
Yeah.
Out of all this,
solid state drive is going to be so helpful.
Oh, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. And then we have the launch dates for both. Now we have PS5 November 12th, 2020. 2 days earlier is going to be the Xbox Series X, November 10th, 2020. So yeah, and then of course Xbox has their Game Pass Ultimate.
That was it.
That's what it was. Yeah, their Game Pass Ultimate, $34.99 a month for the Xbox Series X, $24.99 a month for Xbox Series S. Man, if PS5 were to pull something off like that, where you can do a payment plan, I don't know, dude.
Oh, dip.
But they're not. So.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So that's all we really know right now about the consoles. I mean, I'm obviously gonna get a PS5. Jeff's getting a PS5. He's already pre-ordered his PS5. And then it's gonna come down to, whether the exclusives improve on Xbox. If we see some Elder Scrolls and Fallout exclusives on Xbox, if I want to just stay as a casual gamer and not get too heavy into my PC and just keep my PC as everything else kind of thing, I'll probably get an Xbox Series S, just for the games, nothing else. But only time will tell.
Time will tell.
All right, cool. So before we get into Give It an Hour, we're going to play a quick game of 10 words or less. Is that the name of the game? 10 words or less?
10 words or less.
Sweet.
Nathan said creation last time. I guess The Sims.
In one guess.
It was amazing.
I couldn't believe that. That was insane. Oh my god. I've noticed this episode's a lot quieter too without having guests. You notice that?
It's a lot sadder.
Sadder?
Clay and Alex, I miss you.
They were great. We'll have to have them
I mean,
on
I
again.
listened to it and it was like hearing it for the first time because I don't remember a darn thing.
It's funny because I listened back to it again. I'm like, we lost Video Game 20 questions because Jeff was drunk. That's why we lost.
And like Emily was like, I guessed all of them before you got it. And I'm like, I don't even remember what we got.
Man, we would have won. We probably would have won if you wouldn't have been drunk.
I had a bad day at work.
It's okay. I forgive you.
And it was a Saturday instead of a Sunday. And
just, resort to hugs, Jeff. Resort to hugs instead of alcohol. Hugs are always better.
I can only
hug
one
your
person.
own wife?
I can just hug one person.
Hug Emily.
I've been hugging the same person for 6 months. I need more hugs.
You go downstairs. Can I have a hug? She's like, what?
I don't want to hug my family.
I know.
I don't trust my family.
Your dad's
I don't trust my family in any way.
Yeah, your dad shoves you out of the way. Get the hell out of here. All right, cool. So this is the game where we have 10 descriptive words describing a game that we have to guess. For every word we guess wrong, we lose a point. Do you want to go first?
Yeah.
Since I take longer to figure this out.
Because the way mine goes is vague, very specific, and I feel like you'll get it. All right, so we're gonna go for it. All right, here is your first word. Shooter.
Okay. Call of Duty.
No.
Okay.
Deathmatch.
Deathmatch. Okay. Oh, deathmatch. Trying to go through all the shooters in my head now. So obviously they're all practically death matches. Most of them are anyway. Yeah. Unless there's a specific one and it's referred to as deathmatch.
I think this one, like everywhere I read, specifically used this word.
Okay.
That was a clue, but still. I'm throwing pity on you because you suck at this game.
I really do. Apex Legends?
No.
Okay.
Nintendo.
It's a shooter and it's on Nintendo. Oh. GoldenEye 007?
It is. 8 points for you.
Yeah, that's
right.
The
other words I was going to give you were stealth. And then after that was gadgets, agent, 1997, MI6, Pierce, and then Bond.
Cool. Yeah, and I think it's really funny because I thought about 007 because I was like, deathmatch. Where have I heard deathmatch before? I was like, I think I've heard of that in GoldenEye.
Yeah.
But I wasn't sure because I was like, well, I don't know. I don't know how far back we're going with this game. So anyway.
Yeah. So
cool.
I mean, yeah.
That was probably my best round with 10 words or less.
Way to go.
Thanks. All right, you ready for this?
I think so.
Okay. Build.
SimCity.
No. And you were like, I'm all. I wouldn't do 2 Sims game in a row. Come on now.
I thought you would do it to throw me off. All right, give me the next word.
Collect.
Minecraft.
No. Destroy.
7 Days to Die.
No. Epic.
Fortnite.
Yes.
7 points.
Yep.
It was going to be this game for like the first time ever.
I know, right? It was Epic, Storm, Pickaxe, 100, Multiplayer, Shooter, Royale.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of those I might not have been able to get. Epic was a big clue.
Yeah, Epic's huge, but you'd have to like remember that Epic was Fortnite and
yeah. So the only reason I remember is because Epic has a big thing going against iOS right now. Okay. So that's the biggest reason.
That's right, they do.
Yeah. So you can't even get it on Apple right now, and if you update your iPhone, you lose Fortnite.
Oh,
yeah.
Dang.
Oh, you gotta censor it.
Dang it. That's okay. I'll remember it's in 10 words or less. Yeah, I guess I should have switched Storm for Epic. That's what I should have done. I don't know if you would have gotten Storm.
I'm not sure I would have gotten Storm. I would have been like, X-Men.
Would you have gotten Pickaxe, do you think?
No, I would have thought Stardew Valley.
Dang it. I should have done Storm, Pickaxe.
Or Minecraft.
And then 100. And then Epic, then Multiplayer.
I don't even know what 100 means.
It's 100 players.
Oh. I thought it was like 25. Dang.
No, it's 100.
So it's even sadder when I'm one of the first ones to.
I'm pretty sure it's 100. I think that's where I got the number from. Was there from
you're
Wikipedia?
Probably right. I don't,
anyway,
but, like it's weird to me to conceptualize a server holding 100 players per game. But I mean, it does make it cool.
If it's not, then I'm sorry. It's
do
okay.
Do you have our point tallies handy?
I don't have them handy. But I'd have to go back to the. Well, actually, let's just do this. We have some time. We're actually way ahead of schedule on this episode. So why the hell not?
Quick.
It's in miscellaneous. Then it's in score sheet. Oh wait, have I been keeping track of the score? I don't think so.
Nathan's gonna go back and listen to every episode.
Dang it! Currently I have 27. You have 35, but I think
that is outdated.
That's outdated. I don't know how far back I'd have to go though.
Because I think we should just go back to the beginning and try to figure it out. Like I don't even remember what week we decided we were keeping score.
I know. I don't remember either. That's the thing. I don't remember. I imagine if we go back 3 episodes, I think we'd be okay.
At least you only have to listen to one segment.
That's true. I mean, if I'll ever get the time to do that on my own time.
I know. Now that I'm working in a warehouse, I have so much time to listen to podcasts. But like, you can only do it for so long. I have like music ADD, so I'll listen to like 2 out of 5 minutes of a song and be like, all right, next one. And I find myself in the middle of the Fake Doctors Real Friends podcast. They're like 10 minutes in, and I'm like, next episode. But I'm like, oh no, it doesn't work that way.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. All right, so now
a good podcast.
adding that up, you have 42. I have 35. Supposedly, which I think there's probably more, but still you're ahead. Either way,
I don't think you included last time when I kicked your butt.
No, I don't think. I think I forgot.
And then
to
last
add
week doesn't count because it was just like a one-off exhibition.
Yeah, no, it was. And then we were going against another team, so technically that would be a separate score on its own. That would be us versus guests kind of thing. So we'd have our own.
I want to have them back. Like I'll even have them back before we even get anybody else on here.
I'm totally fine with that.
Yep,
I'm totally fine with that. All right, cool. So. The grand finale. Give it an hour. Jeff and I recommend a game for each other to play each week. Sometimes we pick the same game for each other to play. And this week, Jeff recommended Little Nightmares for us both to play this week.
Did anyone talk about it on social media?
No, I found one person on Twitter. I actually forget his name already, but he was in the Twitch giveaway for the free trailer, and I just forget. I forget.
He's devastated.
I know. I'm gonna at least pull him up. I have the tweet that I made of the Give It an Hour game.
Did Alex and Clay share their thoughts?
No, they didn't.
I don't want them back on anymore.
I agree. Yeah, screw them.
I do remember offering them to give us their thoughts, and we'd read them online.
Oh, you did mention that.
I sobered up at the end.
They don't care, apparently. No, I'm kidding.
We're friends.
I can't find it, but yeah, one guy was like, "Hey, I just recently played that on stream." I'm like, "Oh, cool. Tell me your thoughts." No response.
You spent way too much time looking up his name then.
I know. Whatever. Anyway, he seems like I checked out his stream though because he was like, he was like one of the many people. And I was kind of like going through everyone's stream just kind of see what I was getting into, and his stream looked like a lot of fun. So
I saw the one you made for Alex. It was pretty cute.
Cool. I'm glad you liked it. I was I was actually very thankful that she was the one that won, because I'd already kind of known what her stream was about a little bit. And
so you didn't have to do a lot of research.
Yeah, and then she was so helpful. Like she sent me all the clips she wanted to be used or possibly used, and then she also sent me a video that she had made, which is the one that's like her voice, like her voiceover essentially. So she made that for me without me asking, and it was like, oh, perfect. I have my my main source of video, and I have my B-roll. I'm good to go.
Slam dunk.
It was great. So I'm so thankful. It only took like 5 to 6 hours to make that trailer. I was very fortunate. You don't get that lucky every time.
Right.
But anyway, cool. So do you want to go first?
I mean, I guess we could just kind of talk about it back and forth.
Sure.
My initial thought when I booted up the game, it feels very much like Inside.
Dude, yeah.
Even with like the art style. So like,
same here.
I just moved right and left, and I'm like, where do I go? And I'm like, oh, there's a third dimension.
Yeah, the third dimension really threw me off, and I
didn't see that coming.
Yeah, that was actually one of my big complaints of the game, unfortunately.
Because like sometimes it did a terrible job at showing depth or like things were at an angle, like the wood planks going at an angle. I was constantly falling off.
Me too.
Just because it didn't give us a good gameplay angle.
I fell off the platforms that were going straight, like because I'd come from one room to the next. And then I would like continue moving my joystick in the same direction, and then I would just eventually just walk right off the platform. I was like, "What?"
Yep. And this is a game where like things move at you quickly from behind.
Yes.
So like it's a game where you can't stop and calculate. You just have to go.
Yeah, kind of like Inside. Inside, you had to keep going.
Yep. And so you had to time your jump with that. For this one, you had to time your jump and then figure out like what angle your jump was at
and where in your angle of your landing.
Yeah, so that was really difficult, and something I also didn't really like is when you died, you went a lot further back than I wanted to.
Some of them, because it wasn't really. Well, here's the thing. With that said, I noticed that you can start lighting those little lanterns, and I figured, okay, cool, those are my save points. Well, there was one part where I know that's what I thought they were, and at one point I like went way far back. I was like, these are not save points. I was like, what are they?
Like, ultimately, where I quit playing, it's like you have to climb all the way to the top of this tower thing, and then, like, there's a swinging chain chandelier, and you keep climbing up on top of that, and that's where the lantern is. And I fell off completely and died, and it made me start again at the bottom. And I don't know if it's because I fell to die, or if I just didn't reach a designated save point. Maybe the lantern is, like, if you shut off the game, that's where you'll end up.
Maybe that's a good question. I have no idea. Anyway, I kept lighting them just in case, but I actually got past that part you were talking about. You didn't have to light the lantern, I don't think, to do it.
No.
But I got further.
I couldn't figure out what to do, and I was like, my hour's just about up.
There's a lever you have to pull, and then you have to pull it.
Yeah, and then the thing comes towards you,
right?
And then it comes up, and then I'm like, okay, now what?
Then there's another lever, right? There's the one against the wall, then there's one right in the middle. And you pull that one, and then it comes closer to you. And then as soon as you push it all the way to the other side, it goes towards the other side where you need to get to. But you have to like time it just right. So you pull the lever, you push the lever, and then run and jump and get on.
I died 3 times doing that, so I'm like, that clearly isn't the way because I don't have enough time to make it, even sprinting.
Yeah, you have time. You have time to get there.
I did something.
But
wrong,
but I died.
I made it go all the way back, and I froze, and I'm like, okay, 1, 2, 3, sprint, and then like I fell.
I died like 8 times, not even getting to that point. I kept falling.
I died a lot. I died on purpose the first time because I saw the eel thing, and I'm like, oh, what's that gonna do? And it was very Limbo-esque in the death as well.
Yeah, the deaths were very Limbo. Yes, very brutal. Some really disturbing moments, I'll say that.
Yeah, like the first time you see the legs dangling from the ceiling, I was like, oh,
yeah,
I'll just take this chair.
Yeah, these dark moments, like, well, he won't be needing this anymore.
Also, it kind of doesn't make sense because his feet were way above where the chair was anyway.
Yeah, the chair should have been like knocked over, but then you wouldn't have been able to use it. Whatever. So now we're getting too technical.
we're getting technical.
But here's the thing. I wouldn't have been as upset with the dying if the load times weren't so long.
I know. I'm
My
like, why
God.
is this taking like 30 seconds?
Yeah, it was like 30, 40 second down. Like.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I should try it again on the PC because that was ridiculous.
Yeah, the load times are so long. I was like, this is bad.
Like to start the game, I was like, this is taking a while, so I set the controller down and like started doing other things.
You like made a sandwich and like went to the bathroom, took a shower, still loading. Oh, I guess I'll watch a show, come back. Yeah, oh, it's on. Yeah, it took way too long, and I was like, this sucks. The fact that I have to go all the way back so far, and then I have to wait for like almost a minute to like load back. That's why I loved Celeste. Like, I died like over 1,000 times, but it was instantaneous. You died, you come right back. It was immediate.
Yeah, and if you died 1,000 times in this game, that would mean you've played this game for at least 2,000 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. Anyway, there was that. But I also started smashing some of the dolls. Did you do that at all? Like breaking?
No, I know what to do with them. I picked one up and then I like threw it over a ledge. Like, I don't know what to do with you.
When they break, I guess I don't know what they do, but I imagine it's a collectible. I imagine. So I just started breaking every doll I came across.
I also felt like there was a lot of alternate paths I could have taken, so I spent a lot of time trying to figure it out, which is probably why I didn't get as far as you, but I ultimately gave up and just followed the main path.
Gotcha. Yeah,
because I saw the secret ending, and inside you had to do a bunch of like out of the way stuff, which I didn't know you could do.
Neither did I.
Because most of the time, if you fell down, it meant you died, but sometimes if you fell down, it was a secret area. Right.
Yeah. It was. That's why I loved that game, because there were so many options of progressing, to a different area. You're like, wait, why am I here? How did I get here? Yeah. But I mean, in general, the gameplay really holds up well. In terms of like the level design, the sound design, it's all great.
Yeah, like walking in when you were in the area with the bed, which I thought was important, but it was not. But the gunk that was under the bed and when you were walking through that was so gross, but like it sounded amazing.
Yeah, the sound design was amazing. I think that was my favorite part of the game was the sound design because it really was unsettling. I actually got kind of further. I got to the section of the game. I'm not going to spoil anything for you, but I got to the point of the game where stuff starts to come for you actively, and you are fighting for your life, and it gets really intense.
Can you actually fight back, or are you just running from it?
You just have to run from it, and you have to just time your movement properly, because there are moments of where you have to like use stealth, but man, it definitely steps, because I got to the point where I went through a doorway and it faded out and then faded back in to like load like the next level essentially. So I guess I'm on level 2, but it got people like there's just a lot more coming after you now, and you come across like one of the huge people again, and they're actually after you this time.
Yeah, because I went into the room where like they were looking around the bedroom or whatever.
Yeah, it was like an orphanage or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, super creepy.
There's still no real like verbal narrative in the game, right?
No,
like
none.
It's just kind of an experience.
You're just walking. Yeah, it's just like inside. You're just kind of walking through it.
Yeah.
Or like
hopefully, like Inside and Limbo did a really good job of like telling the story.
Yeah, without actually
this
saying
one,
anything.
I'm like, these are kind of scary looking things. This is like nightmares. I get it, but
I'm
not really sure what the narrative is right now.
Yeah.
At this point, and that's an hour in, so I don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea. What's going on, but we'll see. I mean, I'm definitely gonna add it to my backlog. I'm gonna keep playing it because I just enjoy the aesthetic and the genre.
And I do want to play the second one. This one is supposed to only be 2 to 3 hours.
Oh wow. Okay.
So I'm like, that's gonna be a slam dunk.
Yeah, totally.
If I can have the patience to jump on that thing.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm definitely adding this to my backlog. I think it's a great game. But I think I'm more excited for 2, obviously, because then maybe you and I could play together. Because I think it's co-op, right?
Is it?
Isn't that the whole big thing, or is it just you're just playing 2 characters or you're playing one and the other one's just following you around? I don't know.
You're gonna hear my typing when you do this later.
That's fine. I don't care.
I
don't care.
You do a little bit.
I care a little bit.
People asked last year if it was going to be co-op, and they said no. But that was last year. August 23rd, 2019. Tarsier will not have co-op.
All right, that sucks.
But people are like, oh, well, you would think it would from the trailer.
You would think, yeah. You're seeing 2 kids. Like, why would you have... So I guess that was interesting. I didn't realize they'd have the same kids from 1 also in 2.
Yeah. Oh, but also, you said that you played as 6 first, so I'm like, great, I'll play as a kid. But when I did, it was like, we recommend that you play as 6 first.
Mm.
And so I'm guessing the kid was the one. I mean, minor spoiler to give you bread when you were having stomach aches.
Yes, I remember that.
So I'm like, is that the kid that we're going to be playing as later?
Maybe, because
Who
that could be
knows?
really interesting if like you're playing literally on the other side, or like you're playing right
Yeah,
alongside
like
in a
that's
different
where you
area
come
of the.
across them and you see someone on the other side struggling. You're like, oh, bread.
That would be really cool.
I hope so, but you never know.
But if that's the case, I feel like you could play either without really having to play one or the other first.
I might connect later or something like that.
Who
Or
knows?
like that's your clue. Like, oh, that person gave me bread. I'm supposed to give them bread.
Oh my god. Yeah. Anyway, cool. So I guess we're gonna both be adding these to our backlogs. That's great. Okay, so for this week, I'm gonna be picking the game, and with Ori and the Will of the Wisps coming out to Switch, I've decided for us to both play Ori and the Blind Forest, which is the first of the two.
It's already downloaded on my console.
Beautiful.
Because you bought it.
I bought it though on the Nintendo Store, not through the Switch. I bought it online.
So I didn't download it. It just showed up.
Oh, what? That's weird.
Yeah, that is weird.
Okay, yeah, I didn't buy it through the Switch. I bought it on I bought it through my phone. So anyway, so there you go. So that's to be the game we're gonna be playing this week. Again, if you want to get involved, you got to play the game for an hour. Send us your reviews. You can send us an email of your review to contact@backlogendbeyond.com, or you can add us on Twitter, Instagram. I'll be putting up posts tomorrow because you're listening to this on the Tuesday. And that's where you can leave your comments on the game as well for Ori and the Blind Forest. So we'd love to be able to read them on the show and, see if your opinions line up with ours. But yeah, that's going to do it for the show today. Thanks again for all your support. Thanks for listening. We really appreciate it. As always, I'm Nathan Hawkins. You can find me on all the social medias at Adventure Hawkins. On Twitter, it's Adventure without the E. And Jeff?
I'm Zavidabadoo on most of them. I think I'm Zavidabadoo on everything now.
I think you are.
So that's nice. That's easy.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, find me. Tweet at me. If you find me on Facebook, I'm mostly on our local Rants and Raves page arguing with people.
Nice.
Otherwise, I'm having a good time.
That's awesome. Yeah, so we will see.
Do you have a joke?
I don't. I keep forgetting
You
to bring
were like,
jokes.
this is going to be the new weekly segment.
I know,
and then, 2 weeks in a row. 3 weeks now.
Yeah,
you have nothing.
I'll pull one up right now for you. How's that? I'm going to pull one up right now.
He's going to the dad joke subreddit.
Hell yes. No, I'm actually not going to go. I'm not going to go there.
The regular joke subreddit.
Hang on. Let me find one. Here we go.
Right.
I just picked the first one I could find. I invented a car that moves only when the driver is silent. It goes without saying.
Dang it.
5, 6, 7, 8.